Hey, what's up, YouTube? Okay, today I want to talk about realistic bug out scenarios. Okay, so the first thing that you need if you're going to bug out is you have to look cool. So you need some sort of tactical vest, something like a ninja mask helps, maybe some type of cool hat, a big scary looking gun with a laser, good thing to have, scope, flashlight. It's got to look tactical. You got to look cool. Otherwise, what's the point of surviving an apocalypse if you don't look like you're ready to kick ass and take names? In addition to the gun and the outfit, you of course want to have a really good gear bag. So in this case, I've got my Hello Kitty bag. And then you need a badass, mean-looking knife, like a slice steel shark tooth. So you really just want something that you can kill a lot of people, zombies, enemies with. A knife like this that's constructed after the design of something like a shark tooth is what you need. So that's basically it. Sharp knife, mean looking rifle, Hello Kitty bag, and a cool outfit, and you're good to go. That's what prepping's all about, and survival. So, just thought I would, okay, I'm just kidding. But that kind of illustrates my point and how ridiculous a lot of this stuff has gotten with the bugging out and the prepper and survivalism fads. A lot of it's just BS. And it's kind of like the zombie thing, the zombie apocalypse. I mean, I guess it's just like a fun fantasy. There's the survival fantasy. And, somebody like me, would I consider myself a prepper? I guess so. I mean, my whole philosophy is that if things ever got so bad where I felt like I would need to bug out, the world's going to be such a scary, terrifying place that whatever food I stored in my closet, it really isn't going to matter at that point. Either I'm going to survive or I'm not. I live in a big city right now, at least, so it's hard to say what would happen regardless of whatever preps I put aside. Now that doesn't mean one shouldn't be prepared, but it's hard to cover every contingency when you have no idea what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So really you're just kind of guessing, and it's up to your own idiosyncratic interpretation of what actually ends up happening if it goes down, which it may or may not. Another thing that I have a problem with is this kind of goes into the whole, gun control AR-15 craze. Everybody wants an assault rifle. This is just a pellet gun. It's not even, it looks cool and crazy, but you're not going to kill anyone with this more than likely. But, it's a toy, and could be a tool for hunting and things like that. And it's just fun to play with, but they say the AR-15 is kind of like a Barbie doll for adults. And it really is a toy, and it plays into this fantasy. And all these gun manufacturers capitalize on this fantasy of the kind of like, wannabe soldier, weekend warrior type guy. It's a great weapon. It's potentially a hunting tool. Not really discouraging anyone from having one. I would like to have one, to be honest. But this idea of people stockpiling ammunition, preparing for the apocalypse, here's the main problem I have with that. Okay, if you actually think that you're going to be in a scenario where you personally are going to be engaging in firefights, I mean, you're basically at that point going to be a combatant. Whether or not you're on the side of good or evil, or if that even matters, you're a combatant. And what happens to combatants in all wars? They get shot and they die. That's just something that happens. Now, obviously, if that's all going down anyways, you don't want to be unarmed if there's gunfights going off around you, or there's looting and stuff, or you're trying to protect your home or your land. Yeah, you want a gun. But that being the case, if there's roaming gangs somewhere and they come to take your land and it's just you with your AR-15, do you really think that you're going to repel an entire gang that's probably just worked its way through the town or the city, it's systematically robbing and looting houses and killing people? Do you really think that you're going to fend them off? No. What you're going to do is probably attract them, because they'll know that there's somebody there who has a good gun, who has resources that he's trying to defend, and they're going to engage you and eventually kill you, even if you take one or two of them out with you. So a far better option, and this kind of goes into, I'll have to say it, ninjutsu and being a ninja, which is survival and hiding and stealth. That's going to be a much better option than just going and grabbing your gun and taking on the world. Because think about it. You're just one person. You will only ever be one person. But you have the entire world that could be against you. So the odds are is that you'll never be able to win in a situation like that. Now, yeah, you could be aligned with a group of people who are all armed and start your own little militia, whatever. Okay, that's a possibility. But then, I mean, well, who's to say the bad guys aren't going to do the same thing? Now you have one heavily armed militia going out to fight another heavily armed militia, and proportionally, you might be engaging a same force as large as you, whether you're one guy or 10 guys. You could eventually be taking on something as big or bigger. So I don't really know why you would want to actively engage in combat if you could retreat or hide, let it pass by, and just survive. It's just all about being low key and avoiding conflicts that you don't need to be in. Regardless of how tough you are, how good your guns are, how badass you think you are, it's a numbers game. You could just be unlucky. You get killed in a firefight that you didn't even need to engage in. And even if you have to sacrifice some of your resources, it may be worth just escaping with your bug out bag and your family, abandoning your home and everything in it, so that you can fight another day. You may be able to come back at a later point, at least get your house and your land back. Some of your items may be gone, who knows. But I just don't like this idea of this prepping, and these guys are, decked out head to toe like soldiers. And they got all the accoutrements, all the guns, and it's just an unrealistic fantasy. That's not what you would want to do if there was a genuine end-of-world, bug-out, shit hits the fan situation. You don't want to be caught up in combat and violence. It's just, you live and die by the sword, basically. So you're better off bugging out, retreating, hiding. Sure, you can have your gun, you can take your gun. If you have to kill people, you have to kill people. But I would rather be backing away shooting than walking forward shooting, if you know what I mean. Because I don't want to go closer to where the violence is at. I want to get away from it. And this isn't a matter of cowardice or anything like that. It's a matter of self-preservation. And it just makes no sense to get caught up in a conflict that could easily be avoided just by walking away from it rather than towards it. So I know this kind of started out as a joke, but with the Hello Kitty bag, but it is a serious topic and something I wanted to address. So just think about that, why you're prepping, why you're getting guns and knives and ammo, and what your end goal is there, because you may just be playing into a fantasy that developed by watching too much TV, too many movies, too much internet. And there could be a solid basis for what you're doing, practical foundation, but you need to really keep that in check with reality and make sure that if you do have legitimate plans for bugging out and for prepping, that you do so prudently and thoughtfully so that you give yourself the best chance of survival when that situation comes about, if it comes about. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say on this topic. I appreciate the views. Make sure to comment and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.